Takahashi Rie's childhood dream was to become a singer on a shining stage. But this quickly changed in middle school when she watched Higurashi. Inspired by Satoshi Hojo, she became infatuated with the idea of becoming a female voice actress that voices boys. She's a shota and also a chunibyo. We'll get into that later. Her love for anime brought her into the broadcasting club and the light music club, the latter from the influence of K-On! As the main guitarist and vocalist, her onstage experience would build the stepping stones for her future success as a voice actress. This music experience would bring her to apply for 81 Productions voice acting training school, although she would be instantly rejected at the document screening stage. But rather than staying dejected, she immediately applied again next year, winning the special prize and successfully enrolling at the voice acting school right after her high school graduation. 1 year of training later, Rieri passed her course and rose where most people fail, successfully entering the agency. She succeeded first try at the 81 production agency audition. Rieri quickly debuted after signing the papers, and everything seemed to be going so well. This was it. She was finally a voice actress, what she dreamt of for so long. Her debut instantly came as a background character in Stellar Women's Academy High School Division Class C3. No, seriously, it's the anime's name, I swear. That's when reality hit like a truck. She was stuck. While she had made it further than most, she just hit a roadblock. Nothing but mob characters. For the next 2 years, Rieri got nothing but background character roles with one line. Look at this list. 2 entire years. After getting into a renowned agency, her life path took an interesting turn as she had to take up a variety of part-times to support herself. Yeah, we have the generic retail, waitress, stuffing bras into cardboard boxes all night, but the most interesting one was a gym receptionist. Not because of the nature of the job, but because she worked together with her mom. So whenever she had an audition, she'd just change shifts with her mom. What a great mom. Why can't my mom change my uni shifts with me? But finally, the long cycle of endless, hopeless part-times would not just be broken, but obliterated, when her fame would be obliterated into oblivion in 2015. She had gotten her first main character role, Futaba, from Sorega Seiyuu, a very fitting beginning for a voice actress. Then, in the same season, Game of Lapless and Gakko Gurashi. Yes, all main characters debuting as 3 mains in the same season. Then came Comet Lucifer, Konosuba, Purikya, Emilia, Fate Grand Order, Yurukam Takagi-san, Tomboy Girl, Rurouni, Jigoku Raku, Oshinoko, Arc Knights, Princess Connect, and yes, Genshin, Hu Tao. All huge hits. And by this point, she's already a superstar. In fact, 2015 Rieri broke out so much, even she was confused. Like, huh? Why? Why now? But amongst all these incredible roles, one stands out the most. Megumin is everyone's favorite Chunibyo arc wizard from Konosuba, and is not just the first main character that blew Rieri to stardom, but what I'd argue to still be her most popular and iconic role. What's most incredible is Rieri is like Megumin for real. Yes, Rieri is a real-life Chunibyo. Oh boy. So this dates way back to Rieri's middle and high school days. Just like Megumin, at around the age of 14, she'd be writing crazy poems, like love is everything, Betelgeuse yapping level of poems. In high school, she was so crazy over K-On!, she'd literally bring all the snacks and tea sets to their club room at school and try and imitate the tea time in K-On! I think that should give you a pretty good idea of the crazy gremlin Rieri was as a student. I don't even think she was bullied, she was decently extroverted, she just kind of was the weirdo Chunibyo in her school and lived by that. But somehow, in some universe, this universe, this skill came into handy in giving her her first big role. When she first took the Konosuba auditions, she actually applied and sent in recordings for the position of Aqua, but when the scriptwriters heard the tape, they went, nah bro, this girl is absolutely Megumin. They literally, and I've never heard of this being done in the voice acting world before, requested her to send in a voice audition for Megumin as well, and with only the tape recording and document screening, with absolutely no live auditions or second rounds, they just took Rieri in as Megumin. Is Chunibyo aura visible? But, well, they must have known something, cause they made the most correct choice in their whole career. In Konosuba, in these scenes where Megumin yaps her explosion enchantments like an absolutely delusional teen, The script given to Rieri showed, yeah, all they wrote was enchantment. All of this explosion gibberish, every single time, was completely written by Rieri herself. They just made her do it. And Rieri herself said that she put her own thoughts and feelings into these enchantments. The chunibyo spirit is just too powerful. This can only be done by a true chunibyo at heart. In fact, she got so good at writing these enchantments, she got invited to help write them for Isekai Quartet 2 and got credited as so. So yes, she's a natural at this because she is a chunibyo. She is Megumin. In fact, speaking of being your own character for real, by the account of many other voice actors, when Rieri gets drunk, she acts exactly like Emilia in this OVA. Being all sweet and fluffy to the point where the other voice actors with her were so concerned they couldn't really drink. And then we have this. So yes, Rieri has a reputation of being a shotakon. And by reputation, I mean literally staff makes fun of her, her audience makes fun of her, and if you're a big fan of her, you probably know it. This is not a secret. For God's sake, she shills it openly. It all started when Rieri watched Inazuma 11. She looked at the main cast and went, oh, I feel something and it's not motherly instincts. It all went downhill from there. On radios, shows, everything, there would just be yapping about shotas. As in, she has her own concepts and segregates characters into seinen, shonen, and shota, and can literally yap about them for minutes on end. I mean, she did it live on stage in front of an audience. Look at this graph. I'm not gonna tell you the fluid mechanics of shotas, but there was this instance where she was hosting a live show with good friend and colleague Aoi Yuki. One of the fill-in-the-blank questions was blank enthusiast. To troll Rieri, the staff literally just wrote shota on her script to read out, which was met with Rieri giving her shota PhD yap. And I quote, "What would I talk about if it wasn't shota, huh?" That's how used everyone is to this shota fanatic. It's like a given at this point. But there was also another instance on Rieri's birthday where, again, Aoi Yuki asked her on Twitter what she wanted as a present, to which she replied, "A shota drawn by you." Aoi Yuki proceeded to draw a shota version of Sumi from Rent a Girlfriend to Rieri. Yes, this was all public. It's amazing. Also, her drawing is really good. Just a quick disclaimer, no, this stuff is just seen as good fun in the Japanese otaku community, and Rieri's not gotten any hate or anything over this. Please don't harass anyone. I know how Twitter can be sometimes. The last thing I want to quickly introduce is Rieri as a singer. By the way, I also sing on Twitch, come check it out, link in description. I'm sure most of you know that she sang many songs as her anime character roles. She did all the endings of Takagi-san, a bunch of Emilia's songs, Ai and Bikomachi, and has literally performed Idol, yes, the viral opening of Oshinoko, as Ai on the big stage live. But did you know she's also released several albums, singles as an individual solo artist, and it is incredible. Her style of music, and I don't know if I'm crazy, feels a bit akin to Zuttomayo, the slightly funky and very rocky vibe, like that, which would make sense because she's publicly stated she really likes Zuttomayo. Her MVs have such high budget unique animation. I love the emphasis on the pop-up like art style, and I particularly love the message behind the songs. There feels to be a sort of understanding that the world is unfair, that there's so much suffering, and many people hold such biases against themselves, yet still tells us to keep a glimmer of hope because we're better than we think we are. And it really brings me to the question, why do you think Rieri has been so successful? Her voice? Her looks? They definitely matter, but to me, it's her personality. Rieri is an insanely positive person, almost unrealistically so, I would say. Her official favorite quote is, "If you think of failure as an experience, then it's actually a success." And you know, I think it really reflects on her journey. 2 entire years, she basically got nothing, and I think it takes a person with that kind of willpower to believe in her dream and keep going. Many people would have just given up, gone to college, get a normal job, but she really stuck through. And the thing is, with the many interviews I read through, she always talks about how important it is to be confident in yourself, to not lose yourself, and how much of your self-doubt is just your own bias against yourself. How it's important to be able to see yourself from an ego's view, objectively. This kind of mindset really plays a big role into her role as Megumin, and frankly, seems to be molded by her chunibyo antics. See, Kazuma's seiyuu had a complex with his eccentric voice, different from being normal. When they first did the Konosuba recordings, both Kazuma and Darkness's voice actors found their own voice to be disgusting. But Rieri? She went, damn, my voice is easy to listen to. Rieri also knows that she has a non-conventional voice, but her take on this? I was a chunibyo in middle school. I've always been different from others. I've never been normal. That's my identity. That's a good thing. That is what makes Rieri so special. The ability to look at herself and see nothing wrong with being herself, despite being quote-unquote weird or being the nail that sticks out. And this is an extremely rare trait in Japan. I truly believe this mindset is why she is such a perfect Megumin. Someone that's so deluded in her own world in a good way. And I really don't think anyone else could have played her. But hey, if there's anything to take away from this, just be a weirdo, bro. Just be yourself. You are you, and there's nothing wrong with that.